I'm making these avocado rice paper rolls. They're a really nice, simple summer dish, and we use, of course, Hakanoa ginger syrup. The first thing I'm going to do is make the sauce, and the sauce is going to be used for a dipping sauce and also for a dressing for the filling. And the recipe calls for 2 fresh chilies, but quite often I find myself without fresh chilies. So a little trick for the home player: use dried chilies and chop them and de-seed them as though they were fresh, and then just reconstitute them in hot water and use them for fresh. When you're making a sauce like this, it's absolutely just as good as fresh. So I've taken all the seeds and membrane out because that's where all the heat is in the chili. So if you don't want to burn your tongue, definitely get rid of all of those. And now I'm just chopping up the skin. They're pretty difficult to chop again after you've reconstituted them, so best to cut them small while they're still dry. Okay, I'm putting those in a jug. I'm pouring some just boiled water on top of them, and I'm going to leave them to sit for 10 minutes while I get all the other ingredients together. This dressing uses 1 clove of fresh garlic. In my favourite way, I'm getting a clove of garlic ready, smashing it with the side of a cleaver. And just get rid of that little rooty bit at the top. We're going to smash it up in the mortar and pestle so it can just be roughly chopped. Now, we're going to mash that up with our chili. So while we're waiting for our chili to reconstitute, I'm just going to measure out everything I need for the other ingredients, because it's just going to go all in at once. You need a tablespoon of coconut sugar. Could be raw sugar, could be jaggery, could be whatever sweetener you like, but I like coconut sugar. It's not too sweet, it's got a nice malty flavour. 1 tablespoon of that. 2 tablespoons of Hakanoa ginger syrup. 2 of those. 1 tablespoon of rice vinegar. 2 tablespoons of fresh lime juice. I'm using St Andrews lime juice. The moment you open a bottle, it's like squeezing the lime. It's really good. 2 tablespoons of that. 3 tablespoons of fish sauce. Now this is the only ingredient that makes this a non-vegetarian dish. If you wanted to make this for vegans or vegetarians, you can replace fish sauce with this amazing product, umami salt. And it makes a really brilliant replacement for fish sauce in vegetarian and vegan recipes. I'm going for the real thing though, because I really like that extra sharpness. So 3 tablespoons of fish sauce. I also need 2 tablespoons of just plain water in here. I know it sounds like an odd ingredient to add to a sauce, but it just loosens and marries all the flavours together. I'm going to strain the water off my chilies now, and you'll see they look as good as fresh. Going in my mortar and pestle, which has got the garlic. This needs to be crushed to a paste. Before that goes flying, I'm now going to add it to what's in here. And then that is your dressing. Now we're going to make the filling part for the rice paper rolls, and this is a really nice crispy minty coleslaw with some soft bits of avocado in it. Now I've got a theory about coleslaw, and that is that it's all about the texture. So I want my cabbage to be like proper thin, not so thin that it's wimpy, but this is what I use this for. It's a mandolin. It's especially designed just for cutting stuff at exactly the right thickness. I am going to set it to like matchstick thick. Just make sure your fingers are really clear of the blade. As I'm slicing it, you'll see that's really nice. It's crisp, but it's not hairy. You want about 2 cups of sliced cabbage. I also want shredded carrot, same thickness. I've got one of these things for when everything starts getting a little bit too close to my fingers. And then cut them into tiny matchsticks with a knife. When you make these rice paper rolls, you're going to put them in the refrigerator to just cool and set for about half an hour after you make them. And you just need a couple of tablespoons of finely sliced carrot and a couple of tablespoons of shredded spring onion, and like the carrot, you don't want to have a nasty big oniony surprise in your mouth, so this has to be shredded really fine as well. Cut it into slivers long ways. And about 2 tablespoons of finely chopped spring onion. And now the avocado part. Just run your thumb around underneath the skin and turn it upside down for slicing. Now we're going to roll the rice paper rolls. So we have these little rice papers. They come in a little packet like this, and we rehydrate this with a bit of warm water, fill it with that and roll it up. I'll show you what I mean. Warm water is good, hot water not so much. It'll turn gluey really fast and be really difficult to work with. So just warm water out of your domestic tap. So just hand hot. And each rice paper wrapper needs to be in there for between 10 and 30 seconds. Too long and it becomes completely unworkable, too soon and it'll crack. So you slide it in there, just keep your hands on the first one and you'll get to the point where you go, oh right, okay, oh right, it's like this. That's perfect. So you can just straighten it out, put it flat on a board, grab a small amount of your filling, making sure there's some avocado in it. When I say a small amount, something around about the size of your thumb. Anything bigger, you're going to have real trouble wrapping these up. So first of all, over, then left and right, and then over. Just before you get to the end, if you want to make this look super pretty, grab one of your fresh herbs. I've got some Thai basil here, which is kind of halfway between mint and real basil. It's delicious. You just put one leaf in that last little roll and roll it around. Isn't that cute? You can put them on a dish that's going to go in the refrigerator for them to chill for at least half an hour before you serve them.